This is a video about how to use the graphing calculator to write the equation of a line of best fit. It's a good idea before you do anything with the calculator to clear it. You're going to do that by pressing a series of buttons. First one is the second button, then press the plus, and press 7, 1, 2, and you'll get a message saying that the RAM from the calculator has been cleared. These are the instructions for how to write the equation of the line of best fit, and we're going to go through them step by step. Here's our first example. You can see a table of values that is a set of ordered pairs. When we graph it, it seems to have a linear relationship. It's not exactly linear, so we're going to use a calculator to create an equation that best models a line that goes through the center of all those points. First step is to press the stat key, that stands for statistics. Press the stat button. And then you'll get a new menu, and you want to press edit, and you can see that option 1 is edit, so you're already on that. So you can press edit by either pressing the enter key, since the cursor's already on that, or you can actually press the option number, which is 1. You could just press the 1. That gets you to a screen that shows a series of tables that give you room to enter lists. So we're going to be pressing list number 1. We're going to be entering the values of all of the x's, the x values, into list number 1. You can see the spot right there in list number 1. So the first thing you're going to do is 22 using the number keys on the calculator, and then press the enter key. So you'll see the 22 appearing at the bottom when you press enter, then it appears up there as the first entry in the list. So you're going to continue to do the same thing with all of the other L1 values. Next one, you're going to press 25, press enter, keep going until you get all the way to the end of the list, and you can see when you're done, then there's a blank space. After that, we're going to enter in the list 2 values, and those are going to be all the Y values. So the first thing you're going to need to do is use the arrow key to move your cursor over into list 2, and then you're going to see, there it is, over in the list 2, and you're going to enter all the values in the same way that you did the list 1 values. It's important for you to make sure that when you're done entering all the X and Y values, that you see 2 blank spots at the bottom of list 1 and list 2. If one of them has a number and the other one is blank, it means you've somehow messed up and your lists are uneven, and that's going to give you an error message. Next thing we want to do is go back to the stat button and press that so that we can do our calculations. After that, we're going to move the cursor using the right arrow key over to the calculate menu option. And once you're on calculate, then you want to choose option 4, which is linear regression. That's what we're doing. We're doing something called linear regression, which is creating an equation based on a set of values. So there's 2 different ways that you can choose the option. You can see here it's option number 4, so you can either use the down arrow key to move your cursor all the way down to option 4 and press enter, or you can just press the 4 since it's option 4. Once you do that, you see a new menu, and you're going to want to move your cursor down to where it says calculate and then press the enter key. Once you press the enter key, you get this screen that shows that you have an error. That means very likely that you had that situation where you did not have 2 blank spots at the bottom. So if you get the error, just press enter and go back into stat and edit and take a look at your lists and make sure that everything was entered properly, and then try it again. If you did things right, you'll see a screen that looks like this. We want to then write our equation, and when we do linear regression, unless specified otherwise, you want to round the values to the nearest hundredth. So things are a little bit different when you take a look at this screen. We're used to using y equals mx plus b, but the calculator, anytime it has variables, it usually uses A, B, C, D, E in order. So its equation looks like y equals ax plus b. And so instead of m for slope, it's giving us a variable of a that we're going to use in place of m. So you can see that the a value is 0.9687, etc. We're going to round that to the nearest hundredth, and it's giving you the b value, which is the y-intercept, and so we just plug it into our equation, and so our final line of best fit equation is y equals 0.97x minus 10.46. You can see that the b value is negative, so it's important to pay attention to that and show it in your equation as a negative value. All right, if you're ready for another problem and you want to clear list 1 and list 2, you're going to go back to the stat key, go back to edit, and then that puts you into your lists. What you're going to do is move the cursor actually up to the heading that says L2. So you're going to need to do that using the arrow keys, and then you're going to press the clear button and then press the enter button. And that'll clear list 2. And then you're going to use your cursor to move over and up into list 1 to the column heading where it says list 1, and at that point then you're going to press clear and enter as well, and that will clear out all your lists. All right, so let's go ahead and try another example. You can try this one on your own. See if you can remember how to do all of the steps. If not, you can go back in the video and take a look at them. Make sure that when you're entering from a list of data points, those x values are going to be in list 1. So go ahead and proceed with the rest of it. Enter the y values into list 2. Come up with your line of best fit. So pause the video and give it a try and see what you come up with. All right, here is the line of best fit for the data in example 2. If you didn't get this, then you need to go back and figure out what you did wrong. Part B now uses that equation. It's asking us to find the value of y when x is 12. So you need to use that equation you just created, okay, to figure out value of y when x is 12. So there's our equation, and what you're going to do is plug in 12 for x, and then do the computation and come out with a y value of negative 34.08, just like we would do with any normal equation that you've been given. All right, we've got a couple more examples for you to try on your own. See if you can do it without having to look back at the instructions. So here we've got a data table. What's important to remember in this one is that when you are entering in any negative value, so when you go to enter in -3, you do not want to use the minus key on the calculator. That's going to give you an error. You need to use the negative key that's down there right below the 3. So go ahead and enter in your data. Find your line of best fit, plug in x equals 8 to find the value of y. So pause the video, give it a try, and then proceed to see how you did. All right, here are the answers for example 3. If you want to try one more, we've got another example. Let's proceed with that. Here's example 4. Same deal, pause the video, give it a shot, see how you do. All right, how did you do? If you need any more help, come on in at QST to work with a peer tutor or a teacher.